What's going on, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to This Week in Tigers Baseball, and a lot better week of baseball by our Tigers this week. Man, the last couple weeks was getting pretty brutal. Every time I was coming on here, it was about something, uh, something bad about how they were playing bad. It just wasn't enjoyable talking about this team over the last 14 days or so. They had a stretch of where they were 10-20 in a 30-game stretch. I mean, they were just absolutely awful. And it was a week ago on Saturday. They're actually down 1.5 games in the Central. But guess what, guys? Like I said, this team has the talent to win. Sure, the bullpen's still a bit in question, whatnot. Nathan's looked better. Sure, there's still some holes in this team. But these guys are showing why they were 27-12 at one point. The starting pitching's coming back down to earth. The offense is looking a lot better. They play really good on the road for some reason. This team does. So let's jump right on into it. And the story of this week is the Martinezes. JD and Victor. I've been calling them the Martinez Bros because why the hell not? I mean, JD, I've been singing his praises the last couple months. You can go back and watch some of my previous videos where I've been saying, I thought he should get more starting time over Torrey Hunter just early as a month ago. That he needs to get more starting time over Torrey Hunter because JD Martinez has lots of extra base power. His power is legit, and like I said, if he saw more every day at bats, he would start hitting better. He would get a chance to produce. And after Torrey got his hamstring hurt and he had to sit, JD has pretty much proved me right. He got more everyday at bats. He started. He was in there every day, saving both lefties and righties. And a lot of people are asking, is JD Martinez a fluke? And I truly don't believe he's a fluke, simply for the fact that I know we have the Quentin Berries and the Matt Tuiaso-Sopos the last 2 years. But first off, JD Martinez was a highly touted prospect in the Astros system for good reason. You can go look at his extra base pop in the minor leagues. He's always shown good power, and he's been a doubles machine even in the minor leagues. The biggest thing with JD is making consistent contact on the ball, and his walk rate and his strikeout rate was kind of high. He retooled his swing this past offseason. He watched a lot of video on Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez to get an idea. He completely retooled his swing. And you can't teach the kind of power he has and the kind of extra base pop he has. He won American League Player of the Week, and he's just been absolutely outstanding. Him and Victor both. Victor is having a career year power-wise. He belted a couple more home runs over this last week. I mean, it's like awesome. And Mickey, he really hasn't done much from. I mean, I know he's tied for the league in RBIs, but I mean, from an overall standpoint, he really hasn't ever had the Miguel Cabrera years that we expect, which just shows you how good he is. I mean, he's hitting 323, he's got 13 homers and 63 RBIs, and we're like, what's up with Miggy? I mean, but he's that good, But basically, both those Martinezes have just done great work, and Ian Kids are starting to come back around. He's done some good work too over the last couple weeks when he started struggling. Nick Castellanos has been playing better. So let's jump on into it. This past week, we started out in Cleveland. It was a 3-game to start the 9-game road trip. We were in Cleveland, and the Tigers took the first game 6-4. Tigers. Rick Porcello pitched a great game, 6 innings, only 6 hits, didn't allow a single run. Corey Kluber, who was really, really good this year, Tigers tagged him up for 2 runs, and Joe Nathan came out and locked up the save on this one. Looked pretty good in the process of doing it. Who else? Victor Martinez and JD Martinez both had homers in this game, which pretty much started their road trip off power-wise, because both these guys hit, I think, combined 7 home runs this road trip here, but they were really good power-wise. Then Asdrubal Cabrera. Oh, this is the I remember this game. Ian Kroll was out there Ian Kroll, who actually got sent to the DL. For some reason, Brad Ausmus left him out there to face Asdrubal Cabrera and Carlos Santana. He can't get out righties, even though Carlos Santana's a switch hitter. And he got taken deep twice, and they made this game a 5-4 game, but Ian Kinsler doubled in Rajai Davis to make it a 6-4 game. And then Nathan came out and locked down the save. He looked really good. So minus the Kroll, appearance, that was that appearance that ended up, because I guess he's suffering from dead arm, as from what he said. Same thing Joe Nathan supposedly was suffering from earlier this year. He ended up getting sent down, and that's when that Chad Smith guy got recalled because of that. So, and for some reason, I might as well toss this in there too. The Tigers traded for Daniel Schlereth. I guess they're really, really thin in AAA for left-handers or left-handed relievers because the Tigers have had to replace a couple already this year. But for some reason, Daniel Schlereth is back on the Tigers. The only thing that guy's known for is giving up Jim Thome's 600th homer. Curveball, fastball guy, not much command. He's getting lit up in Norfolk this year. Why he's back on the Tigers, I guess I don't have a logical explanation. I guess they really needed depth pitching at AAA in Toledo. So, like, hey, Danny Schlereth, you're a Tiger again. So he's probably never going to be up in the big leagues. If he is, it's going to be mop-up duty. And then Game 2, the Tigers won this game 5-4. Victor Martinez had another homer this game. Who pitched this game? This was Justin Verlander's start. Justin Verlander looked really, really, really good this game. He pitched 7 strong innings, had 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk, and I was extremely happy to see that 1 walk because Verlander's walk rate has been very, very high this year, but he looked awesome. I was reading an article on Baseball Prospectus, and this guy, I forget his name on there, but he's like the pitching expert. He like studies pitching mechanics. He was saying the thing with Verlander was what he's been tweaking with his mechanics is something about his glove side. He's doing something like some kind of minute change to his glove side when he breaks his hands and he pulls the glove in. I guess he was pulling it somewhere, that he doesn't normally do it, which was causing his arm angle to be off, and which is why his fastball command isn't what it was and why he's been getting hit as much as he has. So I guess from what that guy said, a guy that studies pitching mechanics, that was the change in Verlander's pitching mechanics from this past start with the Indians to before, because Verlander keeps saying, every time he got lit up, because he gave up like 5 earned runs in 7 starts. He had 5 earned runs at 6 of his last 7 starts or something like that was the number. And he kept saying he kept tweaking his mechanics, tweaking with his mechanics. Well, supposedly that's what it was. Max Scherzer, when he was on Saturday Night Baseball, even said something about Verlander fixing his glove side mechanics to help him be more consistent with his arm angle. Victor Martinez had a homer in this game. He had another RBI. Rajah Davis actually hit a home run this game, and it wasn't a cheap either. He actually hit that ball pretty hard. Him and Ian Kinsler actually went back-to-back and gave the Tigers a 4-2 lead. But the Indians ended up tying it in the 9th. Joe Nathan blew a save, but it's not all Joe Nathan's fault. He kind of got burned by no doubles defense in this game. And then Michael Bourne freaking singled in Yan Gomes, or singled in David Murphy. It didn't matter, though, because Miguel Cabrera came up and doubled in Ian Kinsler, because Ian Kinsler led off the inning, and Miguel Cabrera doubled him in. I mean, that boy, it was crushed. I mean, it was off the top of the wall. It was close to, at a lot of other parks, that's a homer because of how tall the wall is in Cleveland. I mean, he absolutely crushed it. And Phil Koch, of all people, came out. And Phil Koch was actually hitting 97 on the gun in this game, too. It was pretty amazing. Phil Koch, a guy who I've chastised a lot, and I still don't think he's a very good pitcher. He's actually done some pretty nice work over his last five appearances. He's hit 97 on the gun. The fastball command's been a lot better. The curveball's looking a lot better. He's looking more like the Phil Koch when, the Tigers had that stretch when Valverde was doing really bad in the playoffs and they needed a closer, and they were going to Phil Koch. He was a hot hand, and that he's kind of looking like that Phil Koch, hitting upper 90s on the gun. The curveball's looking better. He's pitching more aggressively inside on left-handers, especially fastballs up and in. He's pitching aggressively inside on right-handers. The curveball, like I said, has looked better. So, he actually came out and got a save, and he recorded it easily. He looked great. I was honestly surprised. I thought he was going to blow it. But the Tigers take the second game, and then the third game was an absolute joke. The Tigers had this game won in the 5th inning. They scored 7 runs in the 5th inning alone. They won this game 10-4. Miggy Cabrera had a homer this game. I believe JD Martinez had a couple of RBIs in this game. Nick Castellanos had had an RBI this game. I don't think that anyone. I don't think, because I'm checking the box score here because I like to be correct when I talk about this because. Yeah, that was pretty much it. They absolutely lit up Tomlin. Tomlin only survived 4 innings, gave up 8 runs and 5 earned. This game was a joke. Like I said, the only reason why it was even close was in the 9th inning. Or the only way it even seemed like, 10-4 isn't much, but the Indians in the 9th inning scored 3 runs, and that was about it. And it was garbage time runs. It didn't matter. Like I said, they destroyed Tomlin. Tigers' offense looked great this game. The train was moving, especially in that 4th inning, man, or that 5th inning when they scored 7 runs. When I was watching this game, I was like, this is over. It's done with. It wasn't even worth it. Especially with Max Scherzer on the mound. Scherzer went 6, only gave up 1 earned run, struck out 8. He looked absolutely awesome. Another solid performance by him because he was kind of shaky his last timeout before that. After his complete game shutout, or after his complete game of the White Sox, he came out and had kind of a shaky outing, and this was a lot better outing after that one. So this game was over. Scherzer dominated him, and Tomlin looked awful. And the Tigers swept the Indians at Cleveland, which they needed to do, which started off the road trip very nice. And then they come into Texas, a place where they usually have a hard time winning. And last time Texas faced us at Comerica Park, they destroyed us. I mean, they absolutely blew out the Tigers in 3 or 4 games. Anibal Sanchez had the only win of that series. In the first game, Ian Kinsler's first bat up to the back at Texas. He had a mixed bag. I think there's a lot more cheers than boos. Kinsler I don't know why people would boo him. I know his comments in ESPN, the magazine, weren't great, what he said about John Daniels, but he never said anything bad about the fans of Texas. He said he did like his time there and whatnot. He loved the fans. I don't know why people would boo him, especially because the fact that he got traded. It's not like Josh Hamilton, who went to a division rival, and then to Texas. It wasn't a baseball town. But first at bat up, hits a dinger. Waves to the Texas dugout. Some BS was made of it. Of course, the media's got to talk about something. So they tried blowing it up like Kinsler was being cocky and whatnot, but it was nothing of it. Kinsler's known all those guys most of those guys in that dugout for a long time, especially guys like Elvis Andrus, who's one of his good friends, Adrian Beltre, one of his good friends. He's probably just saying something to those guys like, "Hey, you missed me," whatnot. So I think it was a little bit overblown. JD Martinez had another home run this game, an absolute moonshot. He crushed that ball. I think it was dead center field too. And this kid, his name's Tyler or Trevor, but he's Green Hill Kid on Instagram, and I actually have as a friend on Facebook too. He's actually a pretty nice guy. He caught the ball, and I think he threw it back, which kind of made me mad because that'd have been cool. I'd have bought that damn ball off him. What else happened in this game? Ian Kinsler had a couple RBIs in this game. The Tigers' offense are good. They exploded for 8 runs. Drew Smiley pitched a great game this game. 6 strong innings. Gave up 1 run, but it wasn't earned. He struck out 5, which was a good sign to see. And then Colby Lewis got crushed. He gave up 9 hits in 6 1/3 innings, 4 runs, 4 earned, 6 strikeouts. Gave up 2 dingers. One to Ian Kinsler, one to JD Martinez. Tigers offense in the 7th inning plated 3 runs, which made it between the 7th and 8th they put up 4 runs, made it 8-1. Leonis Martin, tacked up a run for the Rangers in the 9th inning off of who was pitching. Oh, Chad Smith was. That's who it was. Yeah, Chad Smith. Phil Koch actually came out in this game and had a nice another good relief appearance. It was surprising. I mean, Phil Koch of all people. I mean, Chad Smith though, yeah, because Chad Smith retired the first 2 people he faced on strikeouts, and he gave up a hit, and then what's his face? Leonis Martin doubled in the run. That's what it was. That's the one thing I don't like about doing This Week in Tigers baseball instead of doing a series to series like I used to do. Because sometimes it's hard to remember every single play. Like, when I would do it series to series, I could remember almost every inning, every play, every big thing. So that's why I keep up the box scores here on the side. That's why you see me looking at the thing, just so I can try to pop it back in my head. Because I've been watching just about all the games again. My schedule's been a little bit more flexible. And then the third game of the series, Tigers, Anibal Sanchez comes out. He had a really, really good first 3 innings, but then he kind of got shaky there in the 4th and the 5th. They really drove up his pitch count. He gave up 4 earned runs. He struck out 5. Luckily, the bullpen had a really good night this night. Tigers won this game 8-6. Another good night for the Tigers offense. Victor Martinez and JD Martinez each once again drove in a couple more runs. Miguel Cabrera drove in a run. Torrey Hunter drove in a run this game. Victor Martinez and JD Martinez went back to back in this game. In this game too, Trevor Thompson was actually calling this game. And my goodness, I usually complain about Rod Allen and Mario Impemba a lot. But holy crap, is Trevor Thompson one of the worst people I've ever heard call a ball game in my life. I mean, I'd rather listen to it silent and just watch my TV on mute. Like, I know that guy was just kind of tossed in it. That was his first game ever. But holy crap, it was brutal, and I honestly missed Mario Impemba over Trevor Thompson after listening to this game. But nonetheless, JD and Victor yet again homered in this game. They went back-to-back, and the one that Martinez hit, JD, was an absolute bomb. It was like right center and just up in that gesture straight out. I mean, he crushed that ball. I mean, everything JD's been hitting, I don't think that guy knows what a single is right now. Seriously, like everything he hit is in the gap it's dead center field over the center fielder's head. I mean, he just hits making contact. I mean, he's just driving the ball with authority. Which actually, this game actually pushed his hitting streak up to 14 games too, which was the second longest, I believe, in the American League this year. Rangers, though, they battled back a little bit off Anibal Sanchez. Anibal had a little bit of trouble there in the fourth inning. And then in the sixth and seventh, Carlos Pena homered in the sixth inning off of, who would he homer off of? I'm trying to remember here. I believe it was Blaine Hardy he homered off of. Yeah, he homered off of Blaine Hardy. And Phil Cope came out again, pitched scoreless in the other third. Jabba Chamberlain, who's done extremely nice work this year, he came out, pitched a scoreless eighth. And then Joe Nathan come out. He did give up 2 hits, did give up a run, but he came out, got a save. It is what it is. He didn't blow the lead, so he can't complain too much. He didn't look as dominating as he had before. His last 3 appearances coming into this one, he had, I think, 7 strikeouts in those 3 innings. He was looking really good. And with the fastball command, the curveball command was looking better. The slider was looking a lot sharper. But, it is what it is. They ended up winning the game 8-6. And then yesterday they went for the sweep. And Ricky P., who actually had a little bit of trouble in the first inning, he threw 20 pitches in the first inning alone yesterday. But he ended up coming out and throwing a complete game shutout. It was his first complete game shutout of his career, his second complete game of his career. And that's a big difference, between Ausmus and Leland. If that was Leland managing the game yesterday, I don't think Ricky P would have been out there in the ninth. Even though Ricky P had retired last 8 hitters in a row going into the ninth inning, he ended up ending the game retiring the last 10 in a row. I mean, he absolutely dominated that game. Eugenio Suarez and Ian Kinsler were just turning double play. Ricky P got 3 double plays last night, and Suarez and Kinsler doubled off Elvis Andrus, a guy with some speed, twice yesterday. I mean, those 2 guys, their chemistry up the middle is absolutely outstanding. I mean, the way Suarez has a cannon of an arm. Kinsler's feeds are always beautiful. They get the ball out of their gloves quick. I mean, to double off Elvis Andrus twice, it was absolutely a thing of beauty, and that's a Ricky P pitched a complete game shutout. He had a little bit of traffic on the base pass. He only gave up 3. He gave up 3 hits and how many walks? He gave up 3 hits and 3 walks. So he had a little bit of trouble on the base pass. But, I mean, he kept getting double plays and getting out of it every single time. I mean, the Rangers couldn't do anything because the balls kept getting hit to Kinsler. They turned 2 4-6-3 double plays last night, both of them on Andrus, and then I think a 6-4-3 double play too. I mean, it was an absolute thing of beauty. I love watching those 2 play up the middle. I can't wait till Iglesias is back and him and Kinsler up the middle. Man, my goodness, because the way Iglesias gets the ball out of his glove so fast, it's going to be awesome to watch. In this game, the only real notable thing to talk about besides Ricky P's complete game shutout, JD Martinez's hitting streak was snapped at 14 games. He ended up going 0 for 4. He didn't see many fastballs this game. They were being real careful to him, making him trying to chase curveballs. And JD was a little bit overly aggressive on some of those pitches, especially in his third at bat. He swung at 2 straight curveballs in the dirt, and then he ended up getting the count to 2-2 before popping it up. But he was a little bit more aggressive this game. I think he needs to calm down a little bit. Maybe he's trying too much to keep the hitting streak going. And trying to be a little aggressive because he knew he was getting breaking balls this game. Maybe trying to be a little bit too aggressive, trying to hit the only fastballs he was seeing because teams, Texas after the first couple of games in the series, that last game, yesterday, they weren't throwing nothing but curveballs. Rightfully so. I mean, once you see guys hammering your fastball, hammering everyone on your team's fastball over the field, you need to make them chase a little bit, try to chase, breaking pitches. If you walk them, you walk them. You don't do any damage that way either. Potentially don't do any damage of him taking the yard. But yeah, a lot of curveballs from him yesterday. He was pretty aggressive on him. Calm back down a little bit. Wait for your fastball. What are you going to do? Torrey Hunter had a bases-loaded walk this game, start the game off, made it 1-0. Austin Jackson had an RBI single, made it 3-0. Ian Kinsler had yet another RBI, and Ian Kinsler has destroyed the Rangers this year. He's hitting almost like 470 against his former squad this year. JD Martinez did hit a sacrifice fly, had another RBI this game, and then Miggy Cabrera doubled in Ian Kinsler in the bottom of the 8th to make it 6-0. And Ricky P needed no other assistance. Like I said, complete game shutout, absolutely dominating. And a lot of help from his defense yesterday. Solid game all the way around. And which gave the Tigers their 7th straight win. And Jabba Chamberlain, not only has he done good work, he's been a good luck charm. For the last 7 games in a row, he's gave the lineup card to the umpire. And Brad Ausmus 7 games ago, after he had that beat my wife comment, he said, hey, if we lose this game when Gino gives out the lineup card, you can give out the lineup card. Well, gave up the lineup card, and every day since then they've won, so he's been giving up the lineup card the last 7 days in a row. So job has been good luck for the 8th inning and getting some winning streak. We head off to Houston now. And these aren't your Astros that are your really bad Astros, the one that are losing 110 games. This squad has been playing pretty good. I think they're only like 10 games under 500, 9 games under 500, and they got some nice pieces. They're an exciting team. You know, Singleton's up. Last time we faced the Astros, Singleton wasn't up. Springer was in his early goings yet. He only had 1 or 2 home runs. He didn't go on that big tear where he had the 9 home runs in the month. Now Springer, he has some power, and he's been kind of streaky this year with his power. He had that stretch where he hit 9 home runs in a month, and then he kind of slumped off. And now he's had 6 home runs in his last 9 games or something like that, up until yesterday. This team, they have some nice pieces. Jose Altuve is the most underrated second baseman in baseball, I think. He's leading the league in hits. I believe he's leading the league in average right now too, the AL in average. He's up there in, if not top 3. I know he's top 3. Almost positive he's leading the AL in stolen bases. He's an outstanding defensive second baseman. Singleton has shown good power so far this year, even though he has been in a bit of a downward slump. Villar has done good, or Villar's done some pretty good work. Matt Dominguez, I like. He has some good power. I think he's already got like 14 home runs this year. He hit one yesterday. George Springer, like I said, I love watching this kid play. He was a 40-40 guy in the minors last year. Legit speed, legit power, legit extra base pop. I mean, this is a nice team to watch. And their pitching staff with Cozart and Peacock and Keuchel and Feldman, they've done some nice work this year. They're actually posting a positive WAR as a pitching squad, which means all their pitchers combined are actually above league average, especially Keuchel and Peacock and Cozart. They have done really nice work this year, especially Dallas Keuchel. I actually picked him up in my fantasy team, so I've been paying attention to him a lot over the last month and a half. And Keuchel has done really, really nice work. He's actually one of the top 5 starters in the American League right now. He's got an 8-5 record, a WHIP of 1.1, 83 strikeouts, 2.78 ERA. I mean, he's done a really nice job. So game 1 is tonight. Verlander's going up against Brad Peacock, and the Tigers already beat Peacock once this year. Peacock on the year has a 4.50 ERA, 1.5 WHIP, so he's not doing that good. But then Dallas Keuchel against Max Scherzer, and I'm excited for that game because Dallas Keuchel's nasty pitcher. And then to wrap up the 9-game road trip, Scott Feldman, who's got a 4 ERA, a 1.31 WHIP on the year. He goes up against Drew Smiley to wrap up the 9-game homestand before they come home. And I'm going to that game on Monday. They're actually giving away the 84 road jersey replica. It says 84 on the back and it says champions above it. So can't wait to rock one of those. They're actually a really nice jersey. So we start a series against Oakland, and it's Anibal Sanchez, who last couple times I've gone to the Tigers games, it's been Anibal Sanchez I've got to watch pitch. So, hey, I'm not going to complain. I got up against Scott Kazmir, who's been very, very good this year. Scott Kazmir, he did get lit up in his last start. I know that for a fact. He only went an inning and a third, or 3 innings and a third. But, actually his last start, he went 3 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned. But even with all, this is how good Kazmir's been. Even with giving up 7 earned runs, his last start, his ERA is sitting at 2.66, and his WHIP is at 1.01. Kazmir's been absolutely outstanding, so I'm excited to watch him pitch. It should be a good matchup. And especially about Anibal, he was a little bit shaky out against Texas. Watch this guy. Every time I watch Anibal pitch, he's money. In person, it is. And then Porcello, coming off his complete game shutout, is going up against Brad Mills. And then to wrap up the 3-game set with Oakland at home, it's JV up against Jesse Chavez, who's doing really good work too. Man, that's the one thing about the A's. I like the A's so much. I like so many players. I like Josh Donaldson. I like Yoenis Cespedes, who's got a goddamn cannon. Derek Norris, I like him. I really like Scott Kazmir. I love Sonny Gray. There's just a lot of players on that team. Brandon Moss. I mean, they got so many good underrated players, especially Josh Donaldson. That guy's skill set is just so underrated. He's an outstanding third baseman. He's got a cannon of an arm. Good power. I know he strikes out some. I know he went through I think he went through an 0 for 30 streak this year. But he's such a good player. And Yoenis Cespedes he's awesome to watch. Coco Crispies, as I like to call him, he's a good player too. Josh Reddick's just coming back off the DL. I wish Sonny Gray was pitching tomorrow though on Monday because I love watching him pitch. Scott Kazmir's good. They just pull names from a hat to get they lose Jared Parker and AJ Griffin, and what's his and Sonny Gray comes up and pitches awesome, and then Scott Kazmir's come out of nowhere and continued his dominating pitching, and then Jesse Chavez has come out of nowhere, and he was a bullpen guy and he's absolutely done great work, and then they got a great back end of the bullpen with Doolittle and Gregerson. I mean, they just got such a great fun team to watch. I really like watching the A's play. They're an awesome team to watch. And then to finish the week, Tampa Bay comes in for a 4-game set. Scherzer against Eric Bedard, who is absolutely awful to watch pitch because he's so unbearably slow when he throws. And then Drew Smyly up against Cobb. Anibal Sanchez against Chris Archer, and then Ricky P going up against David Price, who has 5 straight games of 10 or more strikeouts. He has been awesome. Someone on my league was actually stupid enough to drop David Price because he was getting lit up in the earlier this year. But Price, his numbers are weird because he's got the highest K9 and most strikeouts in baseball right now. But his ERA was like kind of on the high side. But he's really been really good his last five times out. So that's going to be a great matchup. So that's all I got for you guys today. Much, much better week by the Tigers. Offense was a lot more consistent. They're playing great on the road this year. They haven't been that good at home so far this year, which has been kind of weird because the Tigers' MO usually was 500 on the road, destroy teams at home. But so far this year, I mean, they're pretty much closer to 500 at home, and they've been destroying teams on the road. But pitching staff has looked a lot better. Verlander, I'm kind of interested to see how he does. Second game, because he's been tweaking with his mechanics, tinkering so much. It's all you've been hearing about. He's doing this, doing that. How's he going to do 2 starts in a row? Can he repeat 2 good performances instead of 1 good performance and then 3 duds? That's what I'm interested to see. Anibal Sanchez, hopefully comes back out. But, I mean, the pitching staff has really started to look better. Porcello's done good work. Drew Smyly's done a lot of good work. Anibal Sanchez has been the best pitcher on the team. Verlander looked good his last time out, so did Scherzer. The bullpen hasn't been nearly as bad, even though Joe Nathan did blow a save this past week, but he still looked better. Phil Koch's looked better. Job has done lockdown work. That Blaine Hardy kid, nasty curveball. I mean, that little twitch in his motion, little hesitation. I don't know how people hit his curveball. It's filthy. And like I said, the offense looks so much better. With the Martinez is the way they've been hitting, it's just been a lot better. So, and with their 4 games back up, 4.5 games back up in the Central, the Royals have cooled off again. So, there was a little bit of panic on a lot of people. I wasn't panicking too much. I was worried about the bullpen a lot, but this team is showing you why. Like I said before, they weren't 27-12 for nothing, at the start of this year. So they're playing a lot better. So that's all I got for you guys today. Have a good one, and go Tigers.